Hey everybody, it's Dave, Bluejacket 66 here for another video. The whole purpose of this video is I want to show off a great card out of my vault, W575-2 card. So I got it out and thought, well, maybe I should compare it to the W575-1s and then the E120 and E21s, show a bunch of cards, and I decided not to. This is not going to appeal to a lot of any sort of modern people at all. It's going to be more like a physics lecture than anything else, because rather than just showing a cool card, which I will at the end, I'll show my card, I'm going to kind of go over this rabbit hole of these two issues, the W575-1 and 2. The W, for those you don't know, is a classification. There's classifications that Jefferson Burdick, the grandfather, essentially the founder of assigning categories to all these vintage cards, especially pre-war cards, had these W as including exhibit cards and strip cards, and cabinet cards like the Sporting Life cabinet cards. You all know that the W600, those beautiful cards, but also some other cards are in that same category as well, like the exceedingly rare Burke Ross issues that you never see those. So it's not exact, because you think W, you think strip cards, but we're going to go over a couple of these today, and whether or not they're strip or not, we'll kind of talk about. So when I think of a strip card, I think of those, the W515s and whatnot, those strips of 8 cards with these cartoonish looking baseball players that aren't very palatable to a lot of people. Some of them I think are really cool. Some of them I don't like. There's a lot of strip cards that I really like. Now, the card that I'm going to show is a W575-2. And I really don't know. You think, okay, there's W575-1 and 2. What's the difference? And I don't see much similarity there, and I don't know why that is. The W575-2s are essentially known as the autograph over shoulder card, and they are almost always labeled as hand cut, although they are not hand cut. They were machine cut, so essentially they are not strip cards. They were sold in boxes of 40. The Chromo Cravure, Kravure, the Chromo Cravure photography company in Detroit, Michigan, made this set, the W575-2, whereas the W575-1s were not made by them. There's difference. The W575-2s, which I'm going to show you, are quite rare. They're essentially blank back cards, although some have been found with, I think, like ball sports schedules on the back, and it's not sure if they were pasted on or what. But what is clear is the one I'll show you says hand cut, and they say hand cut, but they were assuredly machine cut. They're all completely uniform in size, although sometimes the width of them, I've read, can be a little bit different. But I think it's uniformly believed that W575-2s are machine cut. How they were distributed is not clear, but we do know that they were in some boxes. Now the W575-1s, those don't really look anything like. They have the player's name and position at the bottom, and they can be blank back or add backs. They were certainly strip cards. If you look at if you go to the PSA site and look up W575-1, you'll see a Johnson, Walter Johnson that John Mangini has, and it's clearly was torn from a strip on the top and bottom. I mean, it was a strip card, although not all of them look like that. The interesting thing about the W575 ones is that they also share images from the American Caramel E121 set and some of the American Caramel E120 set. And what I'm going to do now is show you kind of some of the similarities of the same photographs. Here's a Tris speaker, and here's his W575-1 and his W575-2, and no, that's incorrect. The W575-1 and his American Caramel E120 and E121 issues, same image. His image on the W575-2 is completely different, as you see there. I think that's pretty interesting. That I'm not sure why the W575 ones share images with the E120 and E121 American Caramel, but they do, and that's not so unusual. Now, like I said, the W575 ones many of them had ad backs, and there's a multitude of ads. I'll show you a couple images of some of the ads. I think I got an image of the Leader Theater and the Henry A. Johnson ad backs. And so, you walk down the Las Vegas Strip and someone holds you a card and there's a picture of some girl named Bambi on it, and you turn over in the back and it says Cheetah Club at this address. That's essentially what these were too. These are all advertising for companies that are trying to get their product out there, and they did it by delivering you a baseball card. And that's the thing about pre-war, is they were selling a product more than the card. Whereas, and Top started that way too. It's trying to sell bubblegum, and it was giving you cards, but then it's become just all about the cards, and it's all about kaleidoscope cards, kaleido cards, stamp, how do we, more. There's, Prism, Herbert's, there's 120 different ones. Let's do all these none of that. It was all about a product, and you're selling the product. Here's an enticing way, I get a baseball card. So some of the ad backs, and I have to read this, because I can't remember them all, are Clark on the W575 ones, are Clark's Bread, Henry A. Johnson, Wholesome Bread, Keating Candy, Gassler's American Made Bread, Leader Theater, Lou Getting Rich Candy, Queen City Cigar Store, Shotwell Manufacturing, Standard Biscuit, Whitmore Candy, and there's probably more. Very interesting, the W575 ones. Very interesting. And if it wasn't enough that the W575 ones shared images with the E120 and E121 American Caramel, take a look at these Babe Ruths. Here's a Babe Ruth W575 one with the Henry Johnson ad back, and the E121 American Caramel. But there's another issue that shares the images with the W575 one, the E120 and the E121, and that's that Koester Bread, Koester. Really rare, and it essentially just had images of the New York Giants and the New York Yankees. So here you have W575 one with all its ad backs, the E120 American Caramel, the E121 American Caramel, and this Koester Bread all have similar images. Very difficult, very hard to get your head around it. The Tris speaker, like I may have shown you on the W575 2, is different. The W575-2 images are different. What is, however, interesting is that there's another strip card that shares images with the American Caramel E120, and that's the W573 set. Now the E120 American Caramel, let's see if what I got a picture of. Yeah, I think I got the Eddie Collins. There's the E120 American Caramel Eddie Collins, and there's the E573 Eddie Collins, and those are strip cards. I'm sorry, the W573. I said E. The W573. Those are strip cards. So I think that that's just fascinating is anything. Now, how do we know these W573s were strip cards? Well, I just happen to have a complete strip of W573s, so we'll show that. And you can see how these would be in somebody's store, and you just grab the scissors and cut yourself off one. I don't know if you could buy a whole strip or if you got one per purchase or something like that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 players on this strip. And again, these are exact same images as the E121 American Caramel. And if that's not difficult enough, that's not right. It's exact same images is the E120 American Caramel. Not the 121s, the E120s. You may recognize that as well is those images are also shared by oh shoot, what's the chocolate? Somebody remind me what the chocolate, the Canadian whatever, I can't remember, but same image and same kind of style of card. So that's it in a nutshell. That's really confusing. So essentially here's it. W575-1, W575-2 don't seem to have any relation to each other. The W575-1 seemed to have like around 200 cards, whereas the W575-2 had more 40 cards. The W575-2s, which I'm going to show you a beauty, were definitely machine cut and were not strip cards. They were not. The W575-1s, we know some of them look machine cut, but many of them we see they were definitely hand cut or even hand torn. The other summary is that the W575-1 share images with the American Caramel E120 and E121. The E120s share images with the W573 strip cards. We saw the Collins on that. Those were, of course, as we saw there, I don't know if I showed you, the W573s are all blank back, of course. So let's get around and we're going to see when these out of the vault, a W575-2 masterpiece. We'll turn it around and take a look at it. Here is the 575-2 Babe Ruth. It says hand cut. It is not hand cut. I pulled this one out of my vault to take a look at. Just a beautiful card. There's the autograph on shoulder. And at the bottom, it's really nothing. It is blank back. I'm not sure what the population on it, but we'll just say the population is quite low. So very proud of that. I have some Babe Ruths that I've not shown, and I suppose in time, but I wanted to show these cards. A W card, not a strip card, not a hand cut card, a machine cut beauty from 1922. Thanks for watching.